Okay, welcome. Let's see what we got on GJ today. For yesterday, GJ played out just like we anticipated, but one of the things though what we haven't talked about for so much is the importance of time frames because there are some setups that are only possible to trade on certain time frames. Because you can see, if you look at this setup here, except you want to use the trend line, which we hardly do. Even if you try to place a trend line, you'll see that it's almost a horizontal line. So my point is this: if you look at this very closely, you will notice that on the 4 hours time frame, you will get a better view of where we could actually get in on this trade. Which, if I have to bring out what I'm supposed to bring out, let's bring out all this. You see here, this is the potential place for entry, stop loss, but we still have a long way in order to get our anticipated TP. Okay. On the other hand, entering a trade like this means you have to hold the trade for days, even weeks, depending on how the market behaves during this time you're holding the trade. So what I prefer doing most times is to wait for the setup to form on a short, shorter time frame or a smaller time frame or on a lower time frame so that we can get a quicker TP. Quicker, not in the sense that we are trying to rush it, but the smaller the time frame or the lower the time frame, the faster you get the result you anticipate, whether positive or negative. Let me just say, but the quicker you get the result or some result. So if you look at this very well, this was an area, but this was a tricky buy. Okay, this was a tricky buy. This is where I took another buy, but this buy did not really give me my TP because volume was dying out. Okay, volume was dying out as at this time. So immediately I noticed that price was dropping aggressively using the tick chart. I noticed that price was dropping aggressively. I closed my position at the closest. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Let me show you what I'm talking about on the 1 hour time frame. Okay. Um, this is taking time to load. I don't really drop down to this time frame like that. But let's exercise some patience so that we can get a better understanding of what the market did. Okay. Okay, good. So this is what I'm talking about. So it was around here I closed the position because I noticed how this was dropping. In fact, let me zoom in so that we get a better view, a better kind of, yeah. So this is what I'm talking about. I was observing how price was printing, and this was where I was putting, though my stop loss was still down here, but this was a stop loss I kept in my mind. Okay, if price breaks this support, and depending on how price breaches it, I'll be considering to take out or close my position. So I saw how aggressive price breached it. I was like, now there's no need holding this position anymore. Price retraced, giving hope for those who want to take buys or who are holding the buys. But don't forget that price had taken out the last guy who is structurally the low or known as the higher low. Okay, so what you see here is simply the retracement. I don't want to go deep into talking about the gauging of the momentum because that will take us into talking for another 5-10 minutes. I want to keep this short, sweet, and simple. If you want further explanation, you hit me up so that we can delve deeper. So with that being said, let's go to the, in fact, the 1 hour time frame. So this is one thing I saw that made me to say, okay, I think this is time for me to close this position, because price was actually giving me that indication that it wanted to do what? To reverse. And voila, just like you see, price eventually did what? Reversed. So it wasn't something to panic about. I just felt like, okay, let me just see what price will do, then let me trade accordingly. It's a simple thing, okay? Without much ado, let me pause this out. Okay, let's continue. Yeah, so this is what I was talking about. So as you could see, there are so many things that because I want to keep this very short and simple, let's just discuss what the market is doing and all that. For deeper explanation, all you have to do is join the elite community, the unicorn group. Let's see what we can do from there. With that being said, what I'm looking at on British pound Japanese yen, this will become a wide stop loss. So let's see if we can get some deeper retracement, if possible, to this point. That means price may be coming to the level where it started originally. Then we anticipate a lopsided V formation or equal V, whichever the case, set test 1, test 2, whether it is lopsided test 1 or um, a test that comes inside, you understand, a test that is deep, then test 2 that is deeper than test 1, no problem. But the point is that it would look even better to see some deeper retracement, because taking buys will require us going as high as here to take buy on the break of the high, which may seem far-fetched. I know this is Tuesday and we're anticipating price to perform beautifully, but on the other hand, let's not take away the fact that the setup is not there at the moment. So what I'm looking at is to take buys potentially here. But on the other hand, I would prefer if price gives us a deeper retracement. Even if it's just one step deep retracement, then I will look for buys going upwards. But if I don't see the setup I want, I'm just going to chill. I'm not going to rush. At least I think this month I've had, this should be 100% win rate. Yeah, I think I've had 100% win rate. Not because I just know what meets my criteria and trade it. Okay. So let's see what we got to do for now. This is all I have for British pound Japanese yen. Without much ado, let's look at gold. Gold. I like the setup I'm seeing on gold. Seriously, gold looks very beautiful. For gold, on the 4 hours time frame, we're in buyer's territory. On the 1 hours time frame, currently we're in seller's territory. On the daily time frame, we're in seller's territory. So if we get a lopsided V formation, perhaps retracement to retest this zone here, I'll be anticipating further bullish rally going up. However, if we get the retracement and instead of bullishly breaching this zone, price drops down to retest this low, good. If it takes out this low, we'll be anticipating price to drop further. That is after it has given the retracement. So this will be scenario 1 in the direction of the overall bias, which is to go up. This is scenario 2 if we retrace and bearishly breach this low. Don't forget, on the 4 hours time frame, we're in buyer's territory. On the daily time frame, we're in seller's territory. On the 1 hour time frame, we're in seller's territory. So the only way I could be confident taking sells is if we retrace, then take sell going down. Or on the other hand, I'll be looking to take buys if we bullishly breach this zone. So these are the two scenarios I'm looking at on gold today. buys look better because it's in the direction of the overall bias based on technical analysis. For the fundamental analysis, nothing strong could influence. Anyway, we can't say, but let's wait and see. But nothing strong at the moment will influence the gold unless something happens. Anyway, we'll wait and see. So this is what I have on gold for today. Okay. The next thing on my watch list is Bitcoin. Okay. Bitcoin has been acting very beautifully few since this week. Okay. Yes, it has been dipping and everyone was taking sales, but at the moment Bitcoin is looking at taking buys and everyone now is now, oh, it's pumping. But I think I told you buy the dip, buy the dip. No, no one should make you feel bad for not buying the dip because you would never have been able to tell that that is the dip unless you're following my analysis daily, and it could give you an idea that okay, price was what, approaching a significant level, and price could react from this level, which it eventually did. Okay, so without much ado, what I'm looking at on Bitcoin today is very simple and straightforward. But before I give the analysis for Bitcoin, since you've watched to this level, do well to subscribe, hit that notification button. When you hit it, it's in the shape of a bell. Select the all option, okay? Comment and give a thumbs up, like, okay? For Bitcoin, what I'm looking at is we are currently in a range. So if we breach this or take out or close above this resistance, I'll be looking for what? Continuous bias momentum, okay? But I'm not going to take sell here because this particular range is a no trade range, NTR, okay? Is a no trade range. So better sales would occur if we do what? Come below this zone. So this is a demand zone, okay? So a better buys would occur above this level here, and better sales will occur below this zone here. Okay, so this is just what I'm looking at on GJ. Oh, I said on Bitcoin. Okay, if you remember yesterday, we were somewhere around here. I was like, okay, market is telling us potential sales below here and continuous buy so far as we remain above this level, and the buys played out fine. Remember, we are not trading sentimentally, zero emotion. We are only trading based on facts and what the market is showing us. We are infusing a lot of parameters such as technicals, fundamentals, commitment of a lot of parameters are involved, even the AWI analysis. This is an exclusive analysis. I've not talked about it. We're not going to rush into talking about this at the moment, but if you're part of the elite community, I believe you would have an idea of how this operates, the aware analysis. Anyway, this is all I have for now. I wish you the best and trade safe. Peace. Baraka Bashad.